But there were little Italies in other parts of the country where Italians in this early generation found a way to succeed. In San Francisco, fisherman Frank Racino and his son Michael continue a 100-year-old family tradition of making their living from the bay waters.
My grandfather came over in 1908, and then he made enough money to send for my grandmother. I mean, it was hard work.
There's actually 3 generations just on this boat right here. I'm 4th generation, my dad's 3rd, and now my son, if he wants to do it, then he'll be the 5th generation. So, a lot of history right there.
Since the late 19th century, Italians had been migrating to Northern California on word there was money to be made in the cool waters of the Pacific.
They were master navigators, master. They fished without radios. They had a compass. I mean, it was all, their computers were in their head. It didn't matter. It was like in their blood.
Armed with skills honed in Italy, Italians would come to dominate the West Coast fishing industry.
My grandfather started fishing when there was abundance of salmon. There was herring, there was sardines. I mean, if you were willing to work, you would make money.
In Northern California, free from the crime of New York's Little Italy, Italians found a place where they could prosper. But even here, it would take one of their own to pull them from the brink of catastrophe and help them find their place in America. By 1900, the Italian fishermen in San Francisco were catching more fish than all the other Pacific ports combined. At Fisherman's Wharf, the Sicilians hauled in the catch and the Genovese ran the markets. In San Francisco's Little Italy, known as North Beach, Italians purchased their own real estate, opened their own restaurants, and even established a theater where they could take in dramas, vaudeville acts, and of course, opera.
This thing that Sicilians had never been permitted to listen to in Sicily, opera. They weren't allowed near the Teatro Massimo in Palermo. And suddenly, opera was theirs too.
On the night of April 17th, 1906, the Grand Opera House in the heart of San Francisco swelled with the voice of the Italian tenor Enrico Caruso. But only hours after the curtains came down, the opera house crumbled into rubble. A massive 7.8 magnitude earthquake had struck the center of San Francisco.
My grandparents had gone to see Caruso the night before. And then that morning, when the earthquake started, my grandmother said, I woke up, I ran to the front of the flat to go out, and the brick stairs had collapsed. So then I ran to the back of the flat, and that's how long it lasted.
After the earthquake, fires continued to consume the city. Italians in North Beach grabbed whatever they could, headed to higher ground, and watched as their homes and businesses went up in smoke. In the midst of the chaos and looting that ensued, few noticed a lone fruit peddler and his horse-drawn cart stacked high with oranges. But this was no ordinary peddler.